Hello, Kevin here. In today's short video, we're going to start taking a look at the whole world of musical keys. So if somebody says to you, oh, this song's in the key of C, or that song's in the key of A flat, or that song is in the key of E, what do they mean? And what difference does it make? Well, in order to get to grips with this and answer those questions, we first need to take a look at one of the most important building blocks of Western music, and that is the major scale. We all know the major scale. It's the one that goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Excuse my singing, let's hear it on a piano. So let's have a look at the major scale starting on the note C. You'll recognise that as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's the C major scale. You'll also have noticed that's the white keys on a keyboard. We didn't touch any of the black keys at all, which are the sharps and flats. So we just have what we call natural notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, what if we wanted to play a major scale, but the G major scale? So could we start on G and simply go G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Well, let's try it and see. Now, something didn't sound quite right. Most of it was good, but that note didn't sound quite right. Let's put our do, re, mi to it. If you try singing do, re, mi along with this, you'll find that when we get to this note, the F, it doesn't quite sound right. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Something strange is going on here. To put it right, we need to increase this last note from F to F sharp. Hear the difference? F sharp. Now let's see what that sounds like. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Oh, that sounds more like our major scale, doesn't it? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Why is this? The reason is there is a structure to the major scale. If we go back to our C major scale and we look at the first two notes, C, D, there's a note in between that we missed out. So the space between C and D is actually two notes. 1, 2. The space between D and E is similarly two notes. We miss this one and we go for that one. This space of two notes is called a tone. So our major scale starts with a tone, then goes another tone. For the third note in the scale, there's no note in between. And we call this a semitone. It's a jump of one note. So we have done tone, another tone, a semitone, then there's another tone between F and G, another tone between G and A, and another tone between A and B, and then a semitone, no note in between, B and C to finish and reach the octave. So there is a pattern to this. tone, another tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now, if we take G as our starting note and apply this same formula, this is what happens. G to A is a tone, A to B is a tone. So far, so good. B to C is our semitone. That's good too. C to D is a tone. That's good. D to E is another tone. That's good. E to F, that's only a semitone, but the formula needs a tone. So to make E to F into a tone, we've got to go one note higher. That's our F sharp. So E to F sharp becomes our tone and enables us to keep to the formula, and then a semitone for the final note, F sharp to G. Which means that if we apply our formula for the major scale to the key of G, or the start note of G, we have to play G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. We can do the same with any of the other notes to form a major scale. The major scale is that formula: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So let's start with E. Just before we do that, let's take a listen to what happens if we play the notes from E, but without using any sharps or flats. Remember, when we did this with C, we got the C major scale. With E, we get this. And that sounds nothing like our major scale. So what we need to do is we need to apply the formula. Remember, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, but with E as our first note. And we'll see what that brings. So, E to F. That's only a semitone. We need a tone at the start, so we need to increase the note F by one note. That's going to take us to F sharp. Then we need another tone. F sharp to G is only a semitone, so that's not enough. So we'll need to increase to G sharp. That will give us E, F sharp, G sharp. That sounds better. Then we can have a semitone. G sharp to A is a semitone. So that's E, F sharp, G sharp, A. We then need a tone. A to B is a tone because we miss out the flat note in between. B to C, that's not a tone, that's only a semitone. So we need to increase the value of that note to include the C sharp. Then C sharp to D is only a semitone and we need another tone. So we have to go up to D sharp. And then finally we have a semitone which brings us back to the root note of E. So our notes become E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. In the next video, we will look at how this translates into all keys and how this is shown as key signatures on a piece of written music. See you in the next one.